Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the unstoppable force of country music, Garth Brooks. From jaw-dropping fortune to a lifestyle that keeps Nashville buzzing, Brooks has built an empire unlike any other. But behind the sold-out stadiums and record-breaking hits lies the real story of a man who went from small-town Oklahoma roots to becoming one of the most powerful names in entertainment. Born on February 7, 1962, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Garth grew up in a household where music wasn't just background noise, it was a way of life. With a father who instilled discipline and a mother who once sang for Capitol Records, his destiny was already written in the notes of country music. Garth Brooks was raised in a household where discipline met creativity, a place where the echoes of music and structure shaped his future. His mother, once a Capitol Records country singer, unknowingly planted the seeds of his destiny, while the bustling home life of Yukon, Oklahoma, filled with 5 older half-siblings and his younger sister Kelly, gave him a world of energy, rivalry, and inspiration. The Brooks family lived for competition, and talent nights were more than just fun, they were training grounds. Every child had to take the stage, whether through a song, a skit, or an instrument. It was here, under the bright but modest lights of his own living room, that Garth first discovered the thrill of performance. Yet at that time, his heart still leaned toward sports, never realizing that these playful nights of music and laughter were quietly shaping the legend he would become. From an early age, Garth Brooks was an athlete at heart. Football, baseball, track and field, he threw himself into every sport with relentless energy. His talent earned him a track scholarship to Oklahoma State University in Stillwater, where he studied advertising while competing in the javelin throw. But even as he chased athletic glory, another passion was quietly building in the background: music. College became the turning point. Between classes and competitions, Garth began performing in local bars and clubs, where he discovered the magnetic pull of the stage. Inspired by legends like George Strait, James Taylor, and Dan Fogelberg, he crafted a sound that blended the storytelling soul of country with the edge of rock and the warmth of folk. A key moment came when a college friend, Ty England, encouraged him to take music more seriously, a friendship that would eventually grow into a lifelong collaboration and the foundation of his first band. For Garth, the javelin may have been his sport, but music was quickly becoming his destiny. England motivated him to take his music seriously and even collaborated with him during their formative days in Stillwater. This connection helped Garth build confidence and enhanced his stage presence. Another significant influence was his exposure to live music events in Stillwater, where he not only refined his performance abilities but also began to learn the art of captivating an audience. He was not solely focused on singing. He was intrigued by the ways to engage a crowd, a quality that would distinguish him in the years ahead. Despite early challenges, such as his first unsuccessful trip to Nashville in 1985, Garth's determination and work ethic, instilled by his parents, kept him moving forward. He returned to Oklahoma, regrouped, and ultimately made a second journey to Music City that would transform everything. Garth Brooks's early life was a blend of discipline and exploration. With a musical heritage on his mother's side, a strong family support system, early exposure to live performances, and a competitive edge from his sports background, Brooks's upbringing established a robust foundation for a career that would revolutionize country music on a global scale, career, and success. From small-town Oklahoma to the heights of country music fame, Garth Brooks's journey is an extraordinary tale of reinvention, crossover success, and groundbreaking impact. Building on the solid groundwork of his early life and musical pursuits, Brooks made his second trip to Nashville in 1987, a choice that would prove crucial. Just 2 years later, in 1989, he launched his self-titled debut album, Garth Brooks. With it, a new force in country music emerged. The album quickly gained traction thanks to hit singles like Much Too Young to Feel This Damn Old, If Tomorrow Never Comes, and the breakout smash, The Dance. His emotive storytelling, powerful vocals, and energetic performances earned him comparisons to country legends. What truly set Garth Brooks apart wasn't just his voice or his songwriting, it was his daring vision. He fused the heart of traditional country with the energy of rock and the polish of pop, creating a sound that didn't just top the charts, it transformed the genre itself. That vision came to life with his 1990 sophomore album No Fences, a cultural earthquake that delivered anthems like Friends in Low Places, The Thunder Rolls, and Unanswered Prayers. Practically overnight, Brooks went from rising star to unstoppable force. No Fences became one of the best-selling country albums in history, and it was only the beginning. Blockbuster follow-ups like Ropin' the Wind, 1991, The Chase, 1992, and Sevens, 1997, cemented his dominance, making him the first artist ever to send 7 albums straight to number 1 on both the Billboard 200 and the Top Country Albums charts. But Brooks's genius wasn't limited to the studio. His live shows redefined what a country concert could be, part honky-tonk, part rock arena spectacle. Borrowing theatrics from icons like Queen and Kiss, he brought pyrotechnics, dramatic stage dives, and arena-shaking energy to country audiences who had never seen anything like it. His tours didn't just sell out, they shattered records, turning stadiums into temples of country music and bringing in younger, more diverse fans than the genre had ever seen. Brooks even dared to experiment outside the box. In 1999, he unveiled his controversial alter ego, Chris Gaines, a rock-inspired persona that left critics divided but proved he was willing to take risks few country stars would even consider. It opened new conversations about genre boundaries and showed that Brooks was never afraid to challenge expectations. And then, at the very height of his fame, he did the unthinkable, he walked away. In 2001, Garth Brooks put his career on hold to raise his 3 daughters. At a time when the world wanted more of him, he chose family over fame, a decision that only deepened the respect and admiration of his fans. In 2009, when he made his return to the stage with a residency in Las Vegas, it sparked a renewed excitement among fans. His complete comeback was marked in 2014 with the launch of Man Against Machine and a massive world tour. Subsequently, he embraced the digital age by creating his own platform, Ghost Tunes, and later partnered with Amazon Music as a key exclusive collaborator, showcasing his innovative approach to the evolving music industry. Throughout the years, Brooks has garnered an impressive array of accolades, including 2 Grammy Awards, 17 American Music Awards, and 24 Billboard Music Awards. He is also honored as a member of both the Country Music Hall of Fame and the Songwriters Hall of Fame. In 2021, he was awarded the Kennedy Center Honors, one of the highest cultural recognitions in America, celebrating his lifelong contributions to the arts. From his rapid ascent in the late 80s to his iconic comeback and ongoing industry innovations, Garth Brooks's career serves as a model for enduring relevance, artistic boldness, and commercial brilliance. He didn't merely change country music, he propelled it to global superstardom. Income and net worth. G. Brooks's financial empire is as remarkable as his musical journey, with an estimated net worth between $400 million and $450 million, according to various industry reports. His wealth stems from decades of chart-topping albums, record-breaking tours, strategic partnerships, and a steadfast presence in the country music landscape. Few artists, in any genre, let alone country, have transformed popularity into financial success quite like Brooks. Central to G's income is his unmatched achievement in album sales. He remains one of the top-selling solo artists in U.S. history, with over 170 million records sold globally, placing him alongside legends like Elvis Presley and the Beatles. Strong physical and digital sales are still produced by his early discography, which includes classic albums like No Fences, Rope in the Wind, and Sevens. He has received a sizable portion of long-term royalties because he is able to own and manage the rights to a large portion of his songs. Another significant source of Brooks's fortune is his touring income. He continues to sell out stadiums in the U.S. and abroad because of his intense arena-style performances. With approximately 400 gigs and a gross of over $370 million, his world tour with Trisha Yearwood from 2014 to 2017 cemented his supremacy in live entertainment. Launched in 2019 and ending in September 2022 with a series of sold-out shows in Dublin, his most recent stadium tour brought in over $330 million in gross income and attracted over 3 million fans. Brooks frequently made over $5 million per show, even with low ticket prices, proving the effectiveness of massive fanatical touring. G has adopted a non-traditional strategy in the era of streaming, first delaying digital distribution. In the end, he avoided Spotify and instead inked an exclusive streaming contract with Amazon Music. In addition to giving him greater control over his repertoire, this audacious action earned him a sizable payout, rumored to be in the tens of millions, as Amazon looked to add well-known musicians to their music service. Another source of income is provided by merchandise and licensing agreements, particularly when he is on tour. For loyal admirers, Brooks' brand has evolved into very marketable merchandise, ranging from unique tour souvenirs to trademark cowboy hats. Despite maintaining a relatively modest profile in comparison to some other megastars, Brooks has collaborated with well-known companies and participated in high public advertising campaigns, particularly in relation to national holidays or events like the Super Bowl. Garth Brooks demonstrated that strategic pauses and personal decisions do not have to come at the expense of financial success by coming back stronger than ever after taking a multi-year hiatus in the 2000s to raise his daughters. His return cemented his standing as a master of career longevity and monetizing lifestyle principles, in addition to his status as an enduring artist. Although Garth Brooks is most recognized for his dominance on stage and on country music charts, his personal life reveals that he is a very grounded individual. Brooks maintained a remarkable level of modesty as his career and financial fortune took off, frequently choosing the small joys of life above the glitz that usually comes with becoming a superstar. Outside of the spotlight, G has always loved sports and being outside. He was a javelin thrower in college and still has a strong passion for sports, particularly baseball. He even spent a brief time in spring training camps with professional teams such as the Kansas City Royals, New York Mets, and San Diego Padres. Out of sincere interest and respect for the sport, not as a publicity gimmick. His life has consistently been characterized by this combination of athleticism and humility, which frequently keeps him grounded in the face of celebrity. Garth is a family man at heart when he's not touring or performing. He devoted himself fully to the duty of parenthood once he retired from music in 2001 to raise his 3 daughters. He chose a slower-paced life focused on parenting and family life in Oklahoma, and even during his period out of the spotlight, he hardly ever gave interviews or made public appearances. Brooks has a large charitable side as well. In order to support children's organizations around the world, he co-founded the Teammates for Kids Foundation, which collaborates with athletes and artists. The organization has raised hundreds of millions of dollars to support disaster relief efforts, educational projects, and hospitals. Garth takes a hands-on approach to giving. He is renowned for making in-person hospital visits and volunteering, eschewing the glitz of celebrity charity in favor of a more genuine presence. G maintains his individuality in terms of fashion, frequently donning jeans, a wide-brimmed hat, and his trademark cowboy boots. His heritage and devotion to country music tradition are reflected in his appearance. Brooks chooses refined variations of his everyday cowboy style rather than ostentatious clothing, especially while attending awards, performances, or national events. His sense of style extends beyond fashion. It represents his groundedness and his refusal to let notoriety to define him. As G. Although Brooks has mostly escaped major scandal during his tenure, he has still been subject to public scrutiny and conjecture. Notably, he was criticized for allegedly lip-syncing during significant television appearances and for his Chris Gaines persona. Perhaps more subtly, however, a new type of attention arrived in the early 2000s. Brooks virtually disappeared from the spotlight after declaring in 2001 that he was retiring from touring to raise his 3 daughters in Oklahoma. His marriage to Sandy Mall, his undergraduate sweetheart, was struggling throughout this time of adjustment and ultimately ended in divorce in 2001. His long-standing association with fellow country music artist Reba McEntire, with whom he often attended industry events, benefits, and collaborative appearances, was the subject of speculation by fans and tabloid media at that time. Performances. Their obvious chemistry and Brooks's marital troubles stoked unfounded suspicions of a more serious relationship. The timing and optics, a high-profile divorce, tight work with another superstar, and Brooks's transition to private life were enough to keep gossip columns circulating for a while, even though neither McIntyre nor Brooks ever acknowledged these claims and no reliable evidence ever came to light. However, Brooks remained silent as usual, allowing his deeds and principles determine his legacy rather than participating in rumors. Brooks has generally responded to criticism with humility, candor, and a dash of humor rather than adding to the drama. These incidents, both verified and conjectural, have further strengthened his public persona, presenting a picture of a guy who takes chances, changes over time, and is steadfastly dedicated to enjoying life as he sees fit. In the end, Brooks's way of life is an example of harmony and direction, a fusion of social responsibility, personal dedication, and professional success. Fans all throughout the world continue to respect Brooks' warmth and moral character. His lifestyle upholds his reputation as a profoundly human being in addition to being a country music icon. One who, in a society that frequently demands differently, prioritizes faith, family, generosity, and being true to oneself. Personal life and relationships. As rich and captivating as his music, Brooks's offstage life has been molded by close personal ties, enduring friendships, and a strong dedication to family. These relationships embody the principles of commitment, genuineness, and devotion that characterize him and have given him the emotional stability and creative inspiration that have accompanied his decades of success. Sandy Mall, whom met while attending Oklahoma State University for college, was the subject of his first marriage. After being married in 1986, the couple had 3 daughters, Ally, Taylor, and August. Sandy was essential in his personal life throughout the early years of his quick ascent, helping him make the leap from local bar musician to country music superstar. But as their fame grew and their time apart grew longer, the tension finally caused them to split up. G's choice to retire from music and devote himself entirely to being a present and attentive parent coincided with the couple's divorce in 2001, which marked a challenging period in his personal life. Gar and Sandy have remained polite co-parents despite the dissolution of their marriage, putting their girls first. G's lifestyle has always revolved around his relationship with his daughters. He mostly avoided the spotlight during his retirement years, preferring to raise his daughters in Oklahoma away from the spotlight of fame. Allie Colleen Brooks, one of his daughters, is a budding musician who has followed in his musical footsteps. Gar has publicly expressed his admiration for her skill and work ethic, supporting her without taking away from her path. G's life took a major change when he became friends with fellow country music artist Trisha Yearwood and eventually married her. After his divorce, their relationship, which had its roots in years of personal support and professional cooperation, developed into a love one. Since getting married in 2005, the two have grown to become one of the most adored country music couples. They have performed together on several tours, recorded duets, and even co-hosted cooking shows, combining their passions for food, music, and one another into a public persona of affection and respect. In addition, Trisha has been instrumental in his charity endeavors, like as their collaboration with Habitat for Humanity, demonstrating a mutual love of helping others. For Brooks, family remains fundamental to who he is. He still has a tight bond with his elder siblings, particularly Betsy, and frequently mentions his late mother, Colleen Carroll Brooks, as one of the most important people in his life. Colleen, a previous performer for Capitol Records, gave Gar a passion for music and storytelling, and her influence can still be heard in his work and principles. Over the years, G has developed close relationships with colleagues in the business. His long-standing friendships with country music icons like George Strait and Alan Jackson, as well as his long-standing partnership with producer Alan Reynolds, demonstrate the Nashville community's strong sense of camaraderie and regard for one another. Brooks is renowned for coaching up-and-coming performers, providing direction without ever clamoring for attention. Because of his generosity, he is not just a well-liked character in the profession but also a revered legend. Even though Brooks isn't known for making headlines, his relationships have occasionally been put to the test in the public view. Examples include his early divorce and sporadic conflicts in the business over streaming services or award show selections. Nonetheless, G has continuously managed both personal and professional disputes with openness and modesty, winning praise for his poise under duress. In the end, Gar Brooks's romantic, familial, and professional relationships show a man of great empathy, loyalty, and purpose. Brooks treats every relationship with care and genuineness, whether he is raising girls away from the spotlight, performing with his true love, or coaching the upcoming generation of musicians. These relationships have not only helped him along the road, but they are now essential to his legacy as a man who always puts his heart first and never forgets his roots. Property. Gar Brooks's real estate decisions, which combine comfort, seclusion, and subtle elegance throughout a small but significant portfolio, reflect the same grounded, genuine lifestyle that characterizes both his music and personality. Over the years, his houses have represented his love of the outdoors, dedication to family, and wish to maintain ties to his roots rather than indulge in extravagant displays of famous money. Gar and Tricia resided at a 14,089 square foot French country mansion on 2.4 acres in AASO, Oklahoma, from the late 1990s to the mid-2000s. 7 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, 2 complete kitchens, a private gym, a screening room, and a 5-car garage were all features of the estate. In 2014, they sold it for about $3.5 million, and they promised to move back to Nashville after G's girls graduated from high school. The primary residence of Gar and Tricia is currently a 5,551 square foot home located in Goodlettsville, Tennessee, just north of Nashville, on about 20 acres. Before relocating in 2018, Brooks, which was acquired for $450,000 in 1990, underwent decades of gradual construction. 7 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, a pool, a basement, a spa, and a 1,575-foot garage are all features of this guarded house. A luxurious kitchen, several fireplaces, covered porches, a sunroom, an owner's apartment, and a den with floor-to-ceiling bookcases are all aspects of the 13-room plan. The interior, which was created with coziness and practicality in mind, combines traditional materials with muted hues to create a laid-back elegance that is true to its origins. The pair operated a Malibu beach retreat from 2008 to 2016. This 4,200 square foot home features a gourmet kitchen, a half-court basketball court, 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms, and private beach access. They apparently sold it to online entrepreneur Adam Bernhardt for $7 million in August 2016 after buying it for just under $5 million. G still owns a significant amount of land in the Oklahoma region, including ranch-style mansions in Claremore and Oklahoma City that were formerly used as family homes or retreats, as well as rural land. In the meantime, their 6,553 square foot home in Brentwood, Tennessee, which had 5 bedrooms and 7 bathrooms, sold for $3.5 million in October 2024. Brooks and Yearwood want a modern meets rustic style throughout their residences. Residences that offer seclusion, functionality, and style without needless glitz. Their ideals are particularly evident in the Goodlettsville estate. A cozy, peaceful retreat designed for family time, creativity, and hearth-time meals. The Malibu house provided a chic yet tranquil retreat for relaxation away from touring, while the AASO estate was roomy and traditional, perfect for raising children near extended family. Gar has purposefully maintained real estate coherent and personal, despite the chance for glamour and spectacle. Instead of acquiring landmarks, automobiles, and vehicles, homes that encourage songwriting, cooking with Tricia, hosting loved ones, and remaining rooted. Similar to how Gar Brooks's real estate decisions reveal his grounded principles, his relationship with cars reveals a tale of tradition, humility, and subtly increasing luxury as his business progressed. Within the early days, before the arenas and award shows, Gar changed into recognized to drive a 1982 Chevy truck, a reliable and modest vehicle nicely desirable to his Oklahoma roots and no-nonsense personality. That pickup truck wasn't just transportation. It became part of a young artist's everyday grind, hauling tools to small gigs and crisscrossing the state with goals in tow. G has spoken fondly of those years when the vehicle symbolized freedom and reason in place of status. As Fame and Fortune observed, Gar's flavor in cars evolved, however stayed a ways from ostentatious. At the same time as he's no longer one to show off a high give-up car collection, he has been regarded to want American-made vehicles and SUVs, regularly selecting practicality and luxury over flash. Over the years, he has reportedly owned Ford and Chevrolet pickups, echoing his lifelong love for the outside and arms-on lifestyle. One of his extra recognizable rides has been a Chevrolet Suburban, ideal for transporting tools, family, or even band participants. Once more, pointing to his group-focused, utilitarian method. In contrast to many celebrities who flaunt supercars, G has constantly leaned toward motors that provide space, energy, and reliability. Though Garth hasn't auctioned off collector cars publicly, he did participate in an extraordinary charity public sale in 2017 wherein he and Tricia Yearwood offered a Jeep Wrangler signed by using both of them to advantage Army veterans. It wasn't about the automobile's luxurious, however, about the use of it to give returned, flawlessly consistent with his philanthropic mindset. These days, G probably travels most customarily in tour buses customized for consolation, specifically whilst visiting across the U.S. with Tricia. When no longer on the street, he opts for low-profile transportation, a mix of massive SUVs and discreet vehicles that prioritize protection, space, and feature over flashy aesthetics. For longer trips, especially for tours or appearances, Brooks, like many excessive-profile entertainers, on occasion makes use of personal jets, making an allowance for extra flexibility and privacy. But, he's nevertheless regularly seen traveling like a man who in no way forgot his small-town roots. In essence, Garth Brooks's vehicle choices replicate his usual persona. Practical, unswerving to subculture, and built for meaningful journeys in preference to flashy arrivals. Whether in a pickup truck or a non-public aircraft, Brooks moves through the arena with intention and constantly together with his boots firmly on the floor. That brings us to the stop of this tale. In case you loved it, don't pass over the other movie star trips anticipating you on display screen. Thanks a lot for looking.